Afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Rigo Villa. I am one of the community managers on the Cisco Learning Network, and I'll be your host today. In this session, we will be covering ThousandEyes integration with Catalyst SD-WAN with our speaker and presenter, Rohit Raj. But before we get started, I wanted to share a couple of quick housekeeping notes. First, if you have any questions during the live session, we ask that you please post them in the question and answer panel, as that would help all of the a panelist manager keep track of all of your questions and would also allow us to provide you with a much more timely response. Also, if you experience any audio streaming issues during the live presentation, I do recommend using the call-in telephone number that I'm going to be posting in the chat window here in just a moment. And at the end of this webinar, you're going to get a pop-up survey with a couple of questions about today's presentation. And we would really appreciate it if you can just take a moment to fill it out and share with us any thoughts or feedback that you may have about today's session. And last but not least, I want to let our attendees know that this session will be recorded and will be available for on-demand viewing. So I'm going to be posting some information about that a little bit later on in the chat window for you. And without any further delay, I am now going to turn it over to our speaker to get us started. So Rohit, if you're ready, please take it away.
Hey, thank you, Rego. Thank you for a quick introduction. So, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Like Rego said, today we'll be discussing about the integration of Thousand Eyes with that. And for you to understand what values bring the Thousand Eyes when we integrate with the Catalyst SD-WAN. And there are a lot of useful features that we are going to talk about it. And I'm excited to deliver this webinar. So let's start with the agenda that we have for today's webinar. So we will start with an overview of the Thousand Eyes, and so that you can get the sense how it's work. And once we have a basic understanding of the Thousand Eye, we will spend some time covering a topic like how to integrate the Thousand Eye solution with the Catalyst SD-WAN, and what are the steps that is involved in the integration process, and what we do after the post integration. And at the end of these sessions, we will have some demo that will cover an integration process and how do we set up a test cases for Thousand Eye solutions. So let's start with an overview and benefit of Thousand Eyes. So first topic that we have today, what is Thousand Eyes? So the Thousand Eyes is the platform that provide you a digital experience monitoring across the cloud and internet. As you know, the world is changing. The cloud is your new data center, and the internet is your new network, and the SaaS is your new application stack. While this solution delivers the flexibility and agility the modern enterprise crave, the resulting ecosystem of the external dependency and the third-party services create a significant operational blind spot for the IT. And then in this case, you will need a monitoring and visibility tool that goes beyond narrowly focused NPM and APM capabilities to deliver the digital experience in your today's dynamic world. So you have a Thousand Eyes digital experience monitoring that empower you to monitor and manage all the cloud-based and internet-centric environment for your infrastructure and the customer, and that is the totally employees depend upon. So basically, in short, Thousand Eye is the network intelligence SaaS-based platform that basically provide you the real-time visibility into the internet-enabled application and the network, where you can set up test cases using the agent that is provided by the Thousand Eyes. You can also host those agents in your infrastructure, and you can leverage the agent to monitor the services like DNS resolution, browser's response characteristic, and detailed aspects of network pathing and connectivity, the status of network routing, and the VoIP streaming connection quality. So what are the solution components that is involved in the Thousand Eyes? So there are three main solution components that we have for the Thousand Eye solutions, which are agent, test, and the data. So a Thousand Eye basically provide a three type of agent. The three agents are the cloud agent, enterprise agent, and the endpoint agent. These all agents are placed in the inside and outside of your network. The enterprise agent and the endpoint agent basically give you the inside out visibility, and the cloud agent will give you inside out visibility to you. And the Thousand Eye platform help you to enable the test test the network assets that your organization has owned. And you can also utilize the ThousandEye platform to test the SaaS-based application assets that your organization has subscribed. ThousandEye basically collect the data from the various vantage point, which is deployed around the internet or maybe inside your customer network. Yeah, and those vantage point, we call it sometimes agent. So we have a layer 3 to layer 7 tests, and lower level tests are the part of the higher level test. These tests can run at the various interval every minute, once to once every few days. And once you set up a test, you will have the result on the ThousandEye portal, and which you can share with your customer and the users or the team using a snapshot. You can customize the dashboard, whatever the data you are interested in. Now let's discuss a little bit more about some of the agent that is provided by the ThousandEyes. Okay, so let's first of all understand what is ThousandEye agent. So the ThousandEye agent are basically lightweight Linux-based software agent that basically allow you to run the variety of layered monitoring tests in order to gain insight into the network and application performance and the user experience. The ThousandEyes basically provides you three type of agent, which is the cloud, enterprise, and endpoint agent. The cloud agent is basically installed and maintained by the ThousandEyes and are available immediately to you to configure the tests, and you don't need an administrative. You don't have to basically manage those cloud agents. These agents are located in many cities and countries, which is nearly about 254 cities and the 64 countries. So the cloud agent basically provides you outside invisibility to your web-based application and the API endpoint. And these agents basically configure most of the options that is available for the enterprise agent also. Next, we have an enterprise agent. So the enterprise agent, again, it's a software-based solution which you can host in your enterprise network, either into your data center or the branch offices or within your virtual private cloud, virtual private cloud for your any of this cloud service provider. And you can also host this enterprise agent into your SD-WAN WAN edges devices. That could be the ISR Catalyst 8000 series routers or the ASR router. And the last agent we have is the endpoint agent. So the endpoint is basically is used for end user monitoring that will give you visibility into your employees' experience of the SaaS and internally hosted application, as well as it will also give you the visibility into your underlying infrastructure. When I say underlying infrastructure, which means your wireless LAN, WAN, internet connectivity, and the system health. So let's little bit zoom into more on the cloud agent. So as we discussed in the previous slide, the cloud agent provide a globally distributed vantage point throughout the internet, and that is basically managed by the ThousandEye platform. These are located in many cities and the countries, and that is connected to a major service provider like tier 1, tier 2, and broadband service provider and regional data center of the cloud service provider. Cloud agent is basically immediately available to you, and whenever you set up a test is, and you don't have to basically manage those cloud agent, which is managed by the ThousandEye itself. And any test type in the ThousandEye platform, you can run with the cloud agent. The cloud agent are available for you, use of the ThousandEye customers on the unit-based consumption, and which is shared by all of the customer. Again, it's give you the outside invisibility, and you can set up a test with the IPv4 and IPv6 or combination of both. Next, we have an enterprise agent. So again, the enterprise agent is the agent basically you deployed in your enterprise infrastructure, which could be behind the firewall of your data center, or that will help you to monitor the data center or the cloud VPCs or the VNet branches or other internal or internet-based network application or the assets. So these enterprise agent basically comes as in either a package of supported Linux distribution, or you can install in on the virtual appliance that can be deployed on the number of different hypervisor or the hardware platform. And when we talk about the integration of ThousandEye with the Catalyst SD-WAN, then there is a container version of enterprise agent we host on the Cisco WAN devices, and that is very easy to do that. And you can leverage the SD-WAN Manager user interface to host to set up the to implement the ThousandEye Enterprise Agent to Cisco WAN devices. We also have a flexibility to install the Enterprise Agent uh, on the Cisco WAN devices using the command line as well. One thing to remember that you should place the agent where you want to run the tests. For example, let's say if you want to monitor your SaaS application, enterprise agent should be placed at all the location where you have a significant concentration of the users. In most of the cases, this means that each offices will have a significant enterprise agent. For some very large campus, multiple agent can be deployed to the monitor different part of campus. So far we have talked about the ThousandEye component and some of the basics. From this slide and next few of the slide, we will focus on the ThousandEye with respect to the Catalyst SD-WAN. ThousandEye is the out-of-box monitoring solution for the Catalyst SD-WAN networking architecture that basically helping you to enhance the monitoring capabilities. We can leverage the SD-WAN Manager user interface for enterprise agent deployment on the SD-WAN IOS XE based WAN devices, which is very easy to configure. We will see during the live demo. And it comes with the two type of integration. You can host the enterprise agent either into the transport VPN, which is your VPN 0, if you want to monitor your underlay part. And you can also host the ThousandEye enterprise agent into the service VPN, which could be the VPN 1020, whatever the service VPN that you have, or you're going to configure it. And this is just to monitor your endpoint and the overlays. Again, in both type of deployment, the test result will be visible on the ThousandEye portal along with the other statistics and the test histories. So as of now, we have covered some of the ThousandEye basics. Now let's dive into the topic to understand the requirement and the prerequisites of the ThousandEye integration with the Catalyst SD-WAN. So before you start the integration process, you should have a functional ThousandEye account. So account is needed to manage the ThousandEye infrastructure, just to adding the new agent, configuring the test, seeing the test results, and also you will be able to create the alert and report from the ThousandEye portal. So that's why you need a functional ThousandEye account. And from the licensing perspective, you should have an advantage or premier licenses that comes with the one network per web test running in every 5-minute interval per agent. For additional tests, you will be needing an extra licensing based on the consumption required. So now let's understand like what are the steps involved in the integration process of the Catalyst SD-WAN and the ThousandEye. So this is the slide that's showing you the workflow setup for your ThousandEyes agent with the Catalyst SD-WAN. So first of all, you will need the account group token from the ThousandEye portal, and it is very necessary to get the token from the ThousandEye portal, and that will be unique for every ThousandEye account. So it is basically used to identify the deployed agent and correctly assign to the ThousandEye account. So, and once you get the ThousandEye token from the ThousandEye portal, you will need to decide where you want to host the ThousandEye enterprise agent. You can host in the transport VPN, which is your VPN 0, or you can host into the service VPN. That is totally depend upon your use case and what is your requirement, what is your monitoring goal, and how you want to achieve it. So once that is decided, next step is to download the ThousandEye enterprise agent setup file from the ThousandEye portal, and then upload into the SD-WAN manager software repository from the manager UI page. And once you upload it, next step to create a ThousandEye feature template. And that is totally depend upon what is your deployment type. So based on that, you will create a feature template and attach to the device template, and then deploy it to the devices where you want to implement or host the ThousandEye enterprise agent. Once that is done, go back to the ThousandEye portal and verify if the ThousandEye agent is successfully added or registered with your ThousandEye account. Again, this adding agent to the ThousandEye portal is the fully automated process, which is basically based on the account group token which you added or providing during the feature template creating. And once the agent will have a reachability to the ThousandEye portal, it will automatically appears in your ThousandEye portal. All right, so now let's understand a little bit about the deployment type of the enterprise agent that we discussed in the previous couple of slides. So the enterprise agent comes with the two type of deployment. You can host the enterprise agent into your transport VPN, or you can also host into the service VPN. So each deployment type has a different type of use case and advantages. Let's say if you are planning to host the enterprise agent into the transport VPN, which is your VPN 0, which is very easy to configure, and it is set by default for the deployment options. The only parameter for the deployment is you need to get the account token group from the ThousandEye portal, and rest other parameters are optional. Again, in this type of deployment, the traffic can be manipulated via the definition of extended policy-based routing. And the major use case for this type of deployment, let's say if you are planning to monitor your underlay links or underlay paths. So basically, I mean, let's say if you want to monitor the path between the two SD-WAN router, which is from the two different sites via your public internet link or the MPLS. So you can implement the ThousandEye enterprise agent into your VPN 0, and you can set up a test cases or test beds. And on other hands, let's say if you are want to host your ThousandEye enterprise agent into the service VPN, so there are some parameters that you will be configuring, and again, it's reside into your service VPN, and that required a unique subnet per branch where you are hosting the enterprise agent. Agent will act as an endpoint inside into the service VPN, and it can monitor your application inside or outside fabric also. The major use case for this type of deployment is to, let's say, if you want to monitor your SaaS-based application like Office 365 and WebEx, these kind of applications. So now let's discuss a little bit more in depth of the ThousandEye agent container networking things. So let's say if you are planning to implement the ThousandEye enterprise agent into the transport VPN, which is your VPN 0, so you will need a subnet which is going to assign to the virtual port group and the container itself, which will have a locally significant, and it doesn't need to be unique. And when you will need a two usable IP address or an available IP address, so that you can assign one of the IP address to the container and agent, or the one of the IP address you can assign to the virtual port group, which will act as a gateway. And this is only required for the agent communication toward the ThousandEye portal and to performing the test cases. So again, the internet to ThousandEye enterprise agent container is supplied via the NAT that you will configuring on the VPN 0 public interfaces. On other hand, the ThousandEye enterprise agent, if you are planning to host in the service VPN, so you will require a subnet which is unique for sites or overlay, because it will get redistributed via the OMP. So that's why it should be unique for that particular sites. And again, the requirement will be the same, like you will need a two IP addresses, so that one of the IP address you will assign to the agent, and and the second IP address will get assigned to the virtual port group, which will act as a default gateway for the agent. And internet will be supplied via the DIA configuration for the service VPN, where you are where you are hosting the agent. Next, we have an on-prem agent requirement for the firewall rules. So let's say if you are installing the enterprise agent behind the firewall or the similar devices where you have some access list configured. So device must be configured with this rule that you are seeing on this slide, so that it will allow the enterprise agent to register with the ThousandEye platform or the portal, so that you're going to execute the tests, and you will see the report of those tests and access the necessary infrastructure services like DNS, NTP, and repository of the software package update. So these rules are required for the on-prem installations, and whatever you are seeing on this slide, which is just to allow the agent communication, outbound traffic so that the firewall rule can be configured accordingly. And agent need to have a loud communication outbound for those services, whatever you are seeing it. Otherwise, it won't be able to connect to the ThousandEyes services. And there is one more rule that you are seeing here, ICMP, which is the recommended rule, but this is optional. It's good to have in place. And this will help you basically in the troubleshooting any network connectivity issues on the IPv4 or the IPv6 protocol. So, I mean, now let's discuss about the post integration process, what we do after the integration has been done. So first of all, you will gain an understanding of the ThousandEyes portal, and you can pick the test which is available on the ThousandEyes portal depending upon the whatever your use case you have planned, and then configure the test based on your requirement. And once you set up the test, again, you can add the users and role, and you can learn about like how to create the users and assigning the specific permission level to the different users and the group of users. These roles are set to the permission and configures that determining basically how a user interacting with the ThousandEyes platform, as well as what are the functionality user can access. Then you can learn about setting up the alert for those tests. So basically ThousandEyes allowing you to route the alert notification to different teams within your organization, so that right people will get notification whenever the issues occurs, and they'll start working on those issues to fix the problem. Again, the alert notification can be delivered via the email. You can use the WebEx protocol to integrate your WebEx, or the service integration process to integrate the ServiceNow, App Dynamic, this kind of tools. Again, you can learn about how to set up the ThousandEyes dashboard. So basically, this is I mean, whatever the data that you want to see on the portal, and which is for user friendly to you, and you can customize the dashboard depending upon your requirement and your use cases. And then the learn about the reporting capability, so that will give you understanding of the report capabilities that is available on the ThousandEyes portal. So now let's understand a little bit more about the test that is offered by the ThousandEyes platform. So what we are seeing here, the number of synthetic tests that can be categorized by the OSI layers that you see here. And the test is offered like routing layer test, network layer test, DNS layer test, web layer test, and the voice layer test. So the routing layer test basically measure a metric like routing path changes, reachability, and BGP updates. Similarly, the network layer test basically measure the metric like loss latency, jitter, MTU, and the path trace. And the DNS layer test basically help you to measure the metric like domain availability, resolution time, domain trace, and the web layer tests help you to measure a metric called server availability, response time, throughput, redirect, response code, and the page load performance. And the last test that we have, which is the voice layer test, which will help you to measure the SIP registration and the RTP streaming metrics. So like we covered in the last slide, we have 5 layer of test in the ThousandEyes, and each layer has the number of tests that you have shown. Again, you can see in the screenshot here, the how do we set up the test that we'll see in the demo. And let's say if you are running the test in the higher layer, so that also include the lower level test. For example, if you're running the web layer test, that also include the network and routing layer test also. And you don't have to wait for enough traffic to get the enough actual traffic to get the test result, and that will get charged by the consumption of unit. So again, the unit are determined by the amount of compute resources that the test takes. And so let's say if you are running the higher layer tests, that will be the part, again the lower level test will be the included with the higher level test, so you will not get the double charge for that. So once you run the test, you will get the results, and based on the result data, you can personalize the view of your ThousandEyes portal. So you will get some wizard that will make it easy to you to customize your ThousandEyes portal dashboard. And that way you can focus on the key time period and the data that is interesting for you for your use case and your organizations. You will have the access to report, which is which is not going to expire. You can also create a shareable snapshot that you can share with your users, customers, or you can also attach with the support ticket. Thousand Eye has one of good tool called the path visualization. So the path visualization basically shows all the network path between the selected agent and the target URL or the IP addresses. And when you are diagnosing a network issues with the ThousandEyes platform, you will be likely using the path visualization view, which is the great tool that offer a visualization representation of the path trace data that will be collect for a test around. All right, so we have covered the presentation things. Let me switch my screen to show you the demo part, like how do we perform the integration of the enterprise agent with the Catalyst SD-WAN. So let me stop sharing and then share my lab setup screen. So before I start the demo part, I would like to show you the integration, the workflow one more time so that you can get the understanding like how this is, what are the steps that we follow. So hope this is visible to everybody here. So the first step that you need to download the enterprise agent file from the ThousandEyes portal. And I have also mentioned the path, like how you're gonna get the setup file from the ThousandEyes portal. So I mean, you can just refer later on if you want, and I'll be also showing you during the demo also. And once you download the setup file, you will need to upload that setup file into the SD-WAN Manager software repository from the SD-WAN Manager UI. And then you will have to decide where you want to host the enterprise agent. It could be into the transport VPN, which is your VPN 0, or you can also host into the the service VPN. In my case, I'm using the VPN 10, and I'll be hosting the enterprise agent into the service VPN, which is the VPN 10. So once that is decided, you will also need to get the account token group, which is unique for every ThousandEyes account portal. And that is very important to get the enterprise agent registered with your ThousandEyes account. Once that is done, you will need to create a ThousandEyes feature template and attach to the device template, and then deploy the device template to the correct device where you want to host the enterprise agent. Again, once that is done, you will go back to the ThousandEyes portal to verify if the enterprise agent is successfully registered. So let me show you the ThousandEyes portal here. So I'm already logged in here on the ThousandEyes portal. So I mean, after that, you can simply see this, the left hand side, you will see the lot of menus options here. If you are not able to see, so maybe it will be hide. So simply you can just go and click on this sandwich icon, and then you will see these options. So the first step that you should download the setup file. How are you going to do that? Basically, click on the cloud and enterprise agent option here, and then go to the agent setting. Once you click on that, it will land you up to the enterprise agent tab. There are other tabs also available, and inside enterprise agent, you will see the agent tab. If already you are implemented the enterprise agent on your environment, you will be seeing the agent detail from here. Like you are seeing, for in my lab, I have hosted on the two different routers, like ISR 4K and ASR 4K that you are seeing here. And if you are planning to host a new enterprise agent, simply click on the add new enterprise agent here. From here, you will see the appliances details. I mean, lot of tab here, and you can download the setup file according to what kind of appliances that you are going to use to host this enterprise agent. In our lab, we are doing the integration with the Cisco WAN devices, which is the Cisco applicable hosting. So go and click on this Cisco applicable hosting tab here. And from here, you can also get the account group token, which is also important to register the ThousandEyes enterprise agent with your ThousandEyes account. So you can copy it from here. Again, depending upon what is the device that you are going to use and where you are going to host the enterprise agent. So let's say we have a three different tab here: Catalyst switches and Nexus switches, and then the routers. In my lab, I have a ISR routers and ASR routers. So I'll click on the router tab here and then click on download the setup, the tar file, and it will download the setup file for these routers. Okay. So, I mean, I have already downloaded this file just to save the time. And so I'm not going to do that. If you are performing the you in your environment, so you can simply click on the download option here. It will download the setup file for you. Okay. And once that is done, go back to your the vManage. So let me share the vManage screen here. So this is the vManage dashboard that you can see. And from here, you will need to upload the setup file, the enterprise agent setup file into the software repository. How are you going to do that? Let me show you. So once you log in into the SD-WAN Manager user interface, click on this sandwich icon, and then you will see the menus, all of the menus options available here. Go to the maintenance, and then out of that, you will select the software repository here. So inside software repository, again, you will see the three different tab here: software image, virtual image, and the firmware. So you will need to click on the virtual image tab here, and then click on the upload virtual image. You will be seeing the two options: upload into the vManage software repository, or either you can upload into the remote server vManage. So the remote server vManage is basically, let's say in your environment, if you are having a cluster of vManages and you want to upload to the remote vManages from one of your vManages, so you can simply click on that, provide your remote vManage host name or the IP addresses here, and you can browse your, browse to where you have downloaded the agent file in your local computers. And once you browse that file, click on upload to the remote server manager. In my case, I am not using any cluster of vManages. So I have uploaded into I have selected these options like the vManage and then uploaded the locally into this vManage only. I have already uploaded here just to save the time. And once you upload the file here, you will see the other details like the software location here, what is the file type, and the service type, which is the app hosting, and the file size and the software version of your ThousandEyes enterprise agent. Okay. And when it was uploaded here, and let's say if you want to see more information here, simply click on the three dot here and go to the show info, where you will be seeing other details like the application vendor, what is the architecture of application, software version of this application, image type. So those kind of information you will be seeing here, right? And once the software will be uploaded into this vManage software repository, the next step is to create a feature template, ThousandEyes feature template. How are you going to create it? So simply click on the sandwich icon, go to the configuration here, and then go to the template. So inside template, you will have a two option here, the devices and the feature template. And you can go to the feature template here and then click on add template. So once you click on add template, you will have to select the device model number where you are hosting this enterprise agent, or creating the ThousandEyes enterprise feature template. So basically I'll select, let's say in my case, I have a ISR 4451 router. So I'll select this router here, and then you will see a lot of, the sections to create the feature template. So the ThousandEyes feature template will be the part of other section. So this is the basic information section here. If you scroll a little bit down, so you will see the other section here, and little bit down inside other section, you will see the here on the bottom right hand side, ThousandEyes agent template. Once you click on that, it will ask you to fill couple of detail, right? Like the template name. Okay. So let's say I'll give the template name ThousandEyes Enterprise, a TE VPN 10 template test, or whatever you want to give, you can give it. And you can copy and paste into the description, or maybe you can give some description based on your, your standards and what you want to give here. You can just give it. And then you will need a account group token. You can get it from the ThousandEyes portal, which is basically here. You can go back to the ThousandEyes portal here, and then go to the cloud and enterprise agent, agent setting, enterprise agent, and then click on add new enterprise agent. From here, you will see the account group token. You can simply copy this file and go back to your vManage here and paste it in this box. All right. So here you see the VPN options. So let's say if you are planning to host the enterprise agent into the transport VPN, which is your VPN 0, don't change anything here. Leave as it is. Okay, because it is the default it is the default type of deployment that we already discussed during the presentation. You don't have to change the VPN. It will by default automatically select the VPN 0 and give the name server detail, like your DNS server detail. For example, let's say in my case, my DNS server is hosted on this IP address 198.18.128.1. So I'll give my DNS server detail here and the host name to identify this agent. So you can give any host name that you want to give. For example, let's say I want to give ISR 4K and whatever the name that you want to give, or site ID, something like that, or site type, so that you can give. Okay. Again, the next option that I can see here, the web proxy type. So let's say if you are hosting the enterprise agent on your edge router, and your edge router is basically behind the firewall. So that means your agent will be the behind the firewall, or some proxy device, or you want to use the proxy to get it into the external network. So you can use the web proxy type, and you have two options to use it: static or pack. So you can use it based on your requirement. So in my lab, I'm not using any proxy type, so I'll not be using these options. I'll leave as it is. Okay. And this is for let's say if you are planning to implement the enterprise agent into your VPN 0 or the transport VPN, this is what you need to fill and then click on save. So basically it will automatically take the, yeah, so this is what for the VPN 0 deployment. And let's say if you are planning to host the enterprise agent into the service VPN, which is your VPN 10, 20, whatever the VPN that you are planning to implement the enterprise agent, in that case, you will need to specify the VPN name or VPN number here in this box. For that, you will need to change these options from the default to the global, and you will be need to specify the VPN number. For example, let's say if I am planning to host this enterprise agent into the transport, the service VPN, and the VPN number is 10. So I'll give the VPN number 10 here. And then you will need a unique subnet which should be unique for that particular branch. Because why? Because it will get redistributed to the OMP protocol, and then it will get advertises to the, the other side, so that you don't have any conflict. So that's why you will need a unique subnet here, and you can plan accordingly. And then you can and that subnet should have at least two IP address available, so that you can assign one IP address to your enterprise agent, and other IP will get assigned to your, the virtual port group, which will be acting as a default gateway for your agent. Okay. So let's say if I want to give, let's say I'm taking this subnet 10.101.21.0/30. So one IP, which is .2, I'm assigning on the agent, and one of the IP address that I'll use to assign, which is .1, which is for your the default gateway, which is the virtual port group. So this is what the setting that you will fill it, the parameters that you fill it if you're planning to implement the enterprise agent into the VPN 0. So I have already created this template and attach, and then after that, what you will need after creating this feature template, you will go back, you can create and click on save to save this template, and then go back to the device tab to attach this feature template to the correct device template where you want to host the, the enterprise agent. So I am not going to create it now because I have already created it and attached to the devices. I'll show you like where I have attached. So if I'll go here on the device tab here, so you will see this device template here that I have created, ISR 4451 CE device template. And if I'll go here, click on three dot and edit these options, and then go to the additional template section here, you will see the ThousandEyes enterprise agent. So I have already attached this template. Okay. So if I'll click on view here, it will show you what kind of setting that I have done here. So basically, you can see, like, the account group token, where I'm hosting, and those details that will show you here, right? And once you attach the Thousand Eye Enterprise feature template here into the Thousand Eye agent, you can click on update, and it will get pushed to the device, uh, the correct device where where you are hosting it. And once that is done, you can go back to your, the agent, the Thousand Eye portal here, and go to the cloud and agent setting here, agent setting. You will see your the agent will be registered to your Thousand Eye portal if the communication is open, or if the communication is allowed, right? So yeah, so this is how we do the, the integration process. Next thing, let's say if you are implementing the, while implementing or integrating the agent, you are facing some, let's say, issues. Your agent is not able to communicate to the Thousand Eye portal. How you gonna troubleshoot, basically? So for that, what you can do, basically, you can log in into your, the routers CLI, and then see some of the troubleshooting command to see, like, if the agent is communicating to the Thousand Eye portal. How you gonna do that? So let me quickly log in into the, the router itself. So give me a quick moment here. So I'll go and log in here on the router. I'm trying to log in so that I'll show you. Oh, sorry, one second. All right, so I just logged in on the device, I mean the router, where I'll be hosting the enterprise agent, or how you're gonna see, basically. So you can verify if the virtual port group is configured here. So you can just simply type show IP interface brief here, and you will see the virtual port group 4 is created with the correct IP address that you have assigned. Okay. And once that is done, basically, you can and there are a set of command that you're gonna run to verify if the portal is reachable. So first of all, you can see, like, if the Thousand Eye Enterprise agent is actually running on the device, how you're gonna see, basically. So you can run this command, show app hyphen hosting, and then give the list here. So it will show you the applet ID of the Thousand Eye Enterprise agent, which is the TE, and the state that is showing you it is running. Okay. If you want to see more detail about this agent setup file, so what you can do, basically, instead of list, you can just simply give the detail command here, and it will give you the detailed view, like what is the applet ID, who is the owner, state, you see the running application type, what is the type of application, which is the Docker, name of the application, software version, and how much memory is getting utilized for this particular enterprise agent, and also the network interface part here. So what is the MAC address, what is the IP address assigned on the agent, and yeah, and the virtual port group detail that you see here. Okay. So next thing, how you verify the reachability from your agent, which is hosted on this SD-WAN router, to the Thousand Eye portal or some of the external services. So basically, for that, you will need to connect the agent console or the agent sessions. How you gonna do that, basically? So so for that, you will need to go back to the agent console. For that, you will run the command app hyphen hosting, and then run the command called connect, and then the applet ID you will give, which is the TE is your applet ID. You can see here, app ID is TE. And then you will run the command called session. You want to take the console of that, and then it will give you the console of your, the enterprise agent, which is hosted on this router itself. Okay. Okay, so how do you verify the reachability from the one router to another router or the another location? So for reachability, we use ping command or the trace things if we are reaching there. So similar kind of command that we have also available for this the Thousand Eye Enterprise Agent. Okay, there is a little bit different on that. How we do that basically for ping, we use te-ping, and then you will have to specify the mode, like what is the protocol that you are using it. So let's say I'm using the mode called ICMP. So I'll give here ICMP here, right? And then let's say if you want to check the reachability from the enterprise agent to your DNS server. For example, my DNS server is 198.18.128 and .1, something like that. So I'll run this command and hit enter key. So as you can see, it sended the 50 packet and received the 50 packet. It means my enterprise agent is reachable to my DNS server. Again, let's say if you want to see some other open DNS server like the Google DNS server or something like that. So again, same command. Instead of my DNS server, I'll give the Google DNS server like 8.8.8 and hit enter key. And again, it will show you the result if this agent is reachable to the Google DNS server. So what we are seeing here, it is reachable. It sended the 50 packet and received the 50 packet also. Okay. And let's say if you want to see the reachability towards the agent gateway that we have assigned, which is your virtual port group 4. And if you want to see the reachability, again, you can run the t-ping-m ICMP and your gateway IP address that you're going to give. For example, in my case, the gateway is 10.101.21.1. So I'll hit enter key and see the reachability if that is reachable. Okay. So you will see the reachability. Okay. And let's say if you want to see, like, if your thousand eye this enterprise agent is reachable to the thousand eye portal, for that what you're gonna do, like, you can run the curl command to see the reachability. For that, again, te-curl will be used to check the reachability of the thousand eye portal. So t-curl-v and then the portal address. So what I'm gonna do, like, I'll copy the portal address and then paste it here. So once I'll run this one, it will show you it is connected, and then it gonna tell you, like, if it is getting resolved or not. So you see the public IP address of this portal, and it is connected on the port number 443, and it is reachable to my enterprise agent. That's why it's getting registered. Also, there is one more command to see, like, for the troubleshooting perspective, the agent log, how you're gonna see basically. So you can run the till /var/log, and then go to the agent, and then your agent log file. Yeah. So inside that, you will see the logs here, and that will give you some of the data, so that where it's getting failed, if there is a problem, you can you can get the information from here, and based on that, you will do the troubleshooting. So yeah, that's it for the demo part. And let me switch back to the presentation so that I can cover a couple of things here. So let me share my screen one more time with the presentation. All right. So before I pass this session control to Rigo, I just wanted to review a couple of key points that I would like you to take away from the today's sessions. What we learned today, that the Thousand Eye tool, which is giving you the end-to-end visibility for your infrastructure if you are using it. And the enterprise agent basically gives you the inside out visibility for your infrastructure. And again, you can host the enterprise agent on the Cisco WAN devices, which is your CS devices. That could be the Cisco ISR 4K router or Catalyst 8000 series or the ASR router also. And this is the slide where you find some useful resources which is related to today's webinar or the presentation. And I'll be pasting this link into the chat also. And yeah, that's it. And you can post your questions and all on this community link that you see. I'll be posting this to the chat also. uh, that's it. Yeah. and thank you so much for your time. Now I'm gonna pass the ball to Rigo. Rigo, you're there?
Yes, still here. Thank you so much, Rohit. That was a great presentation and a demo as well. And Rohit, if it's okay with you, before we wrap up for today, I'd like to just cover a couple of questions from our audience.
Yeah, sure.
So we did have a couple of questions that came in during the presentation. And the first question here is, are the enterprise agents also supported on the ISR 1100 routers?
Yes, definitely. Like I covered in during the presentation, you can host the enterprise agent on the uh, Cisco ISR series router, like the 4K routers and ASR 1K routers and the Catalyst 8000 router. Yes, that is possible.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Another question that we have here, if you can please confirm, uh, ThousandEyes cannot be used to monitor application performance over, let's say, for example, MPLS environment only, and some sort of internet access would be mandatory. Is that correct?
So, I mean, just like I covered in the one of my slide that you can use the enterprise agent to monitor the the path between your two branches, whether they are using the internet or the MPLS, it doesn't matter. You just have to host the enterprise agent into your transport VPN, which is your VPN 0, to monitor the path, which is your via internet or the MPLS. You can monitor. Yeah, that is possible.
Perfect. Thank you. Another question that I see here, can you please explain the difference between a Live NX versus ThousandEyes? Would it make sense to use both in an environment, or are they mutually exclusive?
So basically, to understand more about the difference between the Thousand Eye and Live NX, I'll probably posting the there is a link available for us, and that you will be reviewing later on. I mean, I'll post the link in the post webinar discussions the that we have, where you can read more about it.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much. Another question here that I see is, why are some spots in the path visualization stated as unknown?
I mean, where did you see? I mean,
Yeah, it looks like we do need a little bit more context for this one. So we'll go ahead and just move on to the next one.
okay, sure,
But if our user can go ahead and put some clarification in the Q&A panel, that would be great.
sure,
Um,
okay.
Next question is, what version of SD-WAN Manager or vManage is required to support this TE deployment?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, for my lab, I'm using the 20.6 version, but you can use the, the software version. There is a minimum software version available. I'll share out the link, which is that has the software compatibility matrix. From there, you can get more information about like, the which software version that you should be using for your deployment. And there are some devices like the ASR router has the requirement that you should have at least 29 or 2010 software version 79 or 1710 software version, so that you will be running. And there is a memory requirement also. So probably I'll share one link that has a compatibility matrix plus the the software version things available. You can read more about there.
Perfect. Thank you, Rohit. And we just have one final question here before we wrap up.
Mhm.
Um, can I deploy this agent if my router is in SD-WAN mode or uh, um, autonomous mode, assuming I'm using vManage to manage my router?
Yeah, so from for that, I mean, see, from the vManage, you won't be able to host the enterprise agent in if the router is in your autonomous mode. From the 20.12, we have the flexibility. You can also add your autonomous mode routers into your vManage to just for the monitoring and configuration perspective. That mode we call it SD routing. That is started from the 20.12 software version. If your vManage on the 20.12 software version, and your router should be on the 17.12 version, so that you can use the SD routing mode. But still, we that is in the roadmap to develop the to run from the vManage to host the enterprise agent on the the autonomous mode. But in SD WAN mode, it is available. That what I show you in during the demo.
Perfect. Thank you. So with that final question and answer, we're going to go ahead and wrap up our webinar presentation for today. Rohit, I just want to thank you for speaking about this topic with our audience today. I hope that everyone found great value in the information and resources that were shared here today. And for our audience, if you do have any additional questions about today's topic, we do encourage you to participate in our online post-webinar discussion. You are going to be redirected upon exit, but I'm going to go ahead and repost the link into the chat window for that post-webinar discussion. So we do look forward to your participation. And just a quick reminder that you are going to receive a short pop-up survey as soon as you exit the webinar. And we would be so grateful if you can just take a few minutes to complete it and let us know how you like today's presentation. We always look forward to receiving your valuable feedback. And again, for those of you who are interested in revisiting this session, we will have the live stream available immediately for on-demand viewing. And I'm going to go ahead and post the link into the chat window here in just a moment where you can find that live stream recording. So we do look forward to you checking it out if you'd like to revisit some of the content here today. Thanks again to our presenter and to all of our attendees for joining us here live. I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.